In today's lesson, you'll see that we can easily decode messages using the same code you wrote to encode a message. We'll then create a loop so the user may encode or decode multiple messages and opt to quit when they are done. To keep track of when to quit the loop, you'll learn about another type of data, Boolean data, which can have only two possible values, true or false. Hi, I'm Annette Gotland. I'm the author of the Do-It-Yourself Java Games books. I teach Java programming through creating games. Welcome to the video version of my books. We're currently in the text game video series, TG, the first of 4 types of game series. The focus of this series is to cover the fundamentals of Java programming. You'll learn how, when, and why Java programs are written the way they are. This series has 16 projects. Each project assumes you already have the skills taught in the previous projects. Unless you have other Java programming experience, I recommend that you do all the previous projects in this series before starting this project. A link to the entire text games playlist is provided in the description below. We're currently working on the 13th project, TG13 Secret Code. The Secret Code program lets you create secret messages to share with your friends like this. This is lesson TG13.5, where you'll learn about the Boolean data type. Decoding a message is very similar to encoding a message. To encode a message, you needed to encode letters from the alphabet translated to the corresponding letters in the key. To decode a message, you must encode letters from the key translated to the corresponding letters in the alphabet. Exercise 1. Decode a message. In the constructor, decode encoded message using encode and put the result in a new string named decoded message. Hint: pass in the encoded message, the key, and the alphabet in the correct order to decode a message as described in the preceding slide. Then print the decoded message. Run it. What happened? It should have printed the encoded message, then printed it decoded back to the original message. Next, we'll run the program in a loop so the user may encode or decode more than one message before closing the program. Another data type that would work well in this program is a Boolean. Booleans can only be true or false. Boolean variables are declared as Boolean. To assign true or false to a Boolean, type true or false without quotes. For example, to declare a Boolean named done with the value of true, use Boolean done equals true. You don't need comparison operators to test if a Boolean variable is true or false. For example, to test if done is true, use if done. To test if done is false, use the not operator, if not done. Exercise 2. Create an options while loop. In the constructor, remove the 5 lines of code that prompt the user to enter a string through the line that prints the decoded message. Next, declare a Boolean named quit, initially false. Then add a while loop to continue while quit isn't true. Then inside that loop, declare a string named option that asks if the user wants to encode E or decode D a message or quit Q. Run it. What happened? It should have kept asking which option you wanted no matter what you entered. Next, we'll need to check the user input to see which option they chose. As you've seen in earlier projects, the easiest way to check for multiple expected string values is to use a switch statement. We'll also need a default action in this game to let them know if they enter any unexpected values. So let's set up an initial switch statement with an appropriate default action. Exercise 3. The default option. Add a switch statement based on the value of option. Add a default case to tell the user they entered an invalid option. Run it. What happened? Right now you have no code to accept any option. So if you enter any value, it should tell you that it was an invalid option and wait for you to enter something else. Let's add some valid options. First, let's end the loop if the user enters Q to quit. Exercise 4. The quit option. Add a case to the switch statement so if the user enters a Q, set quit to true. Run it. What happened? If you entered an uppercase Q, It should not prompt for any more input. Next, let's encode a message if the user enters E to encode. Exercise 5, the encode option. Add a case to the switch statement so if the user enters an E, prompt for a message, encode it, and print it. Hint, use encode with alphabet as the from alphabet and key as the to alphabet. Run it. What happened? If you entered E, it should have asked you to enter a message, encoded it, and printed it. And finally, let's decode a message if the user enters a D to decode. Exercise 6, the decode option. Add a case to the switch statement so if the user enters a D, prompt for a message, decode it, and print it. Hint, use encode with key as the from alphabet and alphabet as the to alphabet. Run it. Hint, use copy and paste in the DIY window to more easily enter the encoded message to decode it. What happened? If you entered D, it should have asked you to enter a message, decoded it, and printed it. Key points and more. Boolean data type. Booleans may have a value of only true or false. Declare a Boolean variable as Boolean, set to either true or false. True or false used as a Boolean value is typed without quotes around it. For example, Boolean done equals false. Use Booleans anywhere conditions can be used, such as in if statements and while loops. To test for the opposite value of a Boolean, use the not operator. For example, if not done. You may also assign a value to a Boolean variable by setting it to a condition which returns true or false. For example, done equals not done. In this case, done is set to its opposite value. Or, done equals I is equal to 10. Remember, a single equal sign is the assignment operator, and a double equal sign is a comparison operator. In this case, if I is equal to 10, done is set to true. Otherwise, it is set to false. Here are the completed listings for all the exercises in this video. This is the end of the 5th lesson in the Secret Code project. Your program now allows you to encode and decode as many messages as you want by entering uppercase E, D, and Q options. But what if the user more naturally types lowercase? Wouldn't it be great if the program accepted either the uppercase or lowercase letter for each option? We'll add that to the program in the next lesson. You'll simplify coding these additional options by using the switch statement without breaks between every case.